Climate change. It is fairly certain you've heard this term before. But what exactly is climate change? Scientists describe it as a change in the state of a climate system that persists for an extended period of time. The Earth's climate system consists of the hydrosphere, the atmosphere, the geosphere, and the biosphere. Humans have a profound impact on Earth's climate system. They modify the climate through urbanization, deforestation, and the combustion of fossil fuels. Marine organisms are vulnerable to climate change. It affects organisms rapidly, leading to the possible extinction of many species. One of the most dire consequences of climate change is the global rise in sea level. The major causes of global sea level rise are thermal expansion, which is caused by warming of the ocean, and an increased melting of land-based ice, such as glaciers. Higher sea level means that deadly and destructive storm surges push farther inland than they once did. This will cause more coastal floodings. In the United States, almost 40% of the population lives in high-density coastal areas. Worldwide, 8 of the 10 largest cities are located near a coast. Global sea level has been rising over the past century, and the rate at which it is rising has also increased. In 2014, global sea level was 2.6 inches above the 1993 sea level average. Sea level continues to rise at a rate of 1/8 of an inch a year. When ice flows from land to ocean, the less dense ice floats, and sea level rises immediately. Another major issue of climate change is the warming of the ocean. Ocean warming is the dominant reason for the increase of stored energy in the climate system. The annual temperature of Antarctica has increased by 2.4 degrees Celsius between 1958 and 2010. In the last decade alone, the melting rate for Antarctic glaciers has tripled. Sea ice reflects more solar radiation than ocean water. As sea ice shrinks, more radiation will be absorbed. The uppermost 700 meters of the ocean has absorbed the most heat. This area is warming up 24% faster than it did just decades ago. Only about 1% of the trapped heat stays in the atmosphere. The rest has been absorbed into the planet's vast oceans. The oceans are absorbing more than 90% of the increased atmospheric heat associated with emission from human activity. Carbon dioxide is a byproduct of the burning of coal and other fossil fuels. Average atmospheric carbon dioxide has increased from 316 parts per million in 1960 to over 400 parts per million in 2017. Today, the average concentration of carbon dioxide is about 39% higher than it was only 200 years ago. By the end of this century, atmospheric carbon dioxide could top over 550 parts per million. Since 1880, when recording instruments were first invented, the annual global temperature has increased at a rate of 0.07 degrees Celsius per decade. The 20th century was the warmest era in the past 1,000 years. In fact, the 10 hottest years since record-keeping began occurred from 1998 to 2016. Even if greenhouse gas emissions stabilized, global warming would continue well beyond the 21st century. For answers to these problems, we can turn to the ocean, as it is a source of information about past climates. The geological record is not complete, as it contains many gaps, but because of this, we know that during the Mesozoic era, Earth was categorized by much warmer temperatures. At a time when dinosaurs roamed, global temperatures were 6 to 8 degrees Celsius higher than present. with continued oceanic and atmospheric warming, sea levels will likely rise for many centuries at a rate higher than the current century. Although humans account for much of our climate change, we don't have any clear solutions to the problem. What we can do is enjoy and preserve the waters that surround us every day.